What's up, my crafting buttercups? Go ahead and grab your crafts, get comfortable, and let's have some fun together, right? Welcome to the All the Yarn channel. I am Lindsay. You can find me on Instagram as All the Yarn and on Ravelry as All the Yarn dash. Gotta have that dash. So what have you guys been up to? If anyone cares, I have been feeling much better this month and I have been knitting more this month, so it's been nice. Still not knitting as much as I was there a couple months ago because it's been so nice out. Oh my gosh. So I've been doing some things that I don't normally do, one of which is gardening. I was scarred as a child. Whether my mother meant it to be or not, I was scarred. So when I was a teenager, my mother would, old enough to stay home alone, my mother would leave my sister and I a list of things that she expected us to get home while we're home all day, during our summer break. And the majority of the list could get done in like the 15 minutes before we knew she was probably going to be home. The only thing that couldn't get done that quickly was weeding the garden. So we just tried not to do it ever. But our mother noticed, and so then it became, weed this section today, or there's going to be some consequences that you don't like tomorrow. So it's like, oh my gosh, the sun's hot, and we've been out there for like 10 minutes, but it feels like 6 hours. And I learned very quickly, I hate gardening because of the weeds. I hate it. I don't want to do it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. However, turns out a little bit of gardening is part of adulting. We have a house, it's in a neighborhood, and I'm not ever going to have like the prettiest house on the block, and I don't really care. It's fine. It's not me. I just don't care. But I also don't want to be like the creepy haunted looking house. So after doing really my weeding the last couple of years has been asking my husband to just weed whack. Hey, will you just weed whack the garden? It's like been the extent of it. I'm actually trying to put forth some effort, plant some flowers, and because I'm working from home and I have 2 little goblins, guess who's going to send them out to weed the garden? Like, I'm just going to say like 20 minutes. Hey guys, I just need you to spend 20 minutes a day. Here's the section. When this section's done, you're done. To help keep the weeds out of the garden this summer. So we're going to see how it goes. Beyond just loathing to weed, I also don't grow things very well. I can grow hosta. I can keep hosta alive like nobody's business. What else? Lilies. I can usually get lilies to come back every year. I planted some lavender last year and it looks like 3 of the 4 plants made it. So that's not bad. I have killed every hydrangea plant I have ever planted. It just doesn't, it'll last. Sometimes it doesn't even last the summer. But they never come back. If they made it through the summer, they still never come back. So I don't know. Anyway, this All the Yarn is not actually about gardening. It's about crafting with yarn. I just haven't been doing as much crafting because I've been trying to garden. And I mean, it's been a slow process. It's going to be a slow process. I keep thinking that I should take like a picture, so I have a before picture. But then I feel like I have to actually get somewhere in order to have an after picture. And this is like paying bills to me, and I have friends that love to garden. They have gorgeous gardens and I love it. I can appreciate the amount of effort they put in because that is effort and time that I don't want to put towards it. But I'm going to try. So yeah, I'm going to continue with that gardening push. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep knitting. Speaking of, hey, we're finally there. 5 minutes in, we're finally there. You guys see this? See this? Look. This is my darting in circles. This is my only FO. And I'm okay with that because this is a large FO. Let me show you how large, but first I need to move the camera. Okay guys, check this out. This is basically a dress. Look at that. Okay, so we have this, and we have this, and then you have the middle section, and it all gets connected, and you have this very fun flowy thing. Now, if I were a super creative person, I would like go like this, I would go like this, and fix the collar a little bit and belt it. And like seriously, it's a dress. I'll never wear it that way because I just won't, but I shouldn't say that. Maybe I will. I don't know. Because this is the first day I've been able to wear it. It's been on the blocking mats. Look, kind of needs pockets. I love pockets, but if it's a vest, then I'll have pockets in my pants normally. Look, it swings. I love it. Okay, let me move the camera back. Okay, seriously, is this not amazing? Okay, let me give you guys all the deets. This is the Darting in Circles pattern by Brianna Emerick. I have not been able to locate her on any kind of social media. So as far as I know, the pattern is only available on Ravelry. It is a $6 pattern. This is DK weight yarn. She wrote the pattern to be all one color. I decided to add in all that fading. So this is Madelintosh Tiny House. These are all their Madelintosh DK High Twist. So Tiny House, Simply Greige, and Antler. And then I went ahead and did a contrast border. This is also Simply Greige. I love this pattern. If I were somebody that like says, oh, I want to knit something, you know, again and actually follow through with it, this is in that category. I don't know. I'm so bad. Like there's so many times I knit something, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I need another one. And then, you know, 6 new patterns get published and it's like, oh, squirrel. And I never get back to knitting that really awesome pattern a second time. So this is probably going to go in that category where I would not be upset if I had to, you know, all the patterns in the world vanish and I'm only left with this pattern. And this was the only pattern I had for the rest of my life. I think I'd be okay, honestly, because there's so many things you could do with it. If you wanted to, you could pick up and add sleeves. This pattern is like, she doesn't go through all the different ways you could customize it, but if you're like an adventurous beginner, I'd say intermediate knitter, I mean, you could easily change this to a fingering weight, a worsted weight. It is such a simple design, and yet, I mean, I chose to fade, but you could choose to stripe. You could add sleeves if you wanted to. You could change the weight of the yarn that you're using. You just would need to, like, you would need to use, ooh. You would just need to use, not even math, but like measurements. You have to use a little bit of geometry. Like, okay, about here, you know, how big do I want the armholes to be? About where do I, you know, where would they, I would do one, like as the, I would do knit it once as the pattern dictates and then use that as your guide of, okay, this is how big I need to knit this in fingering weight. This is how big I need to knit this in Aran, what bulky, whatever. Oh, this about here, put some markers. This is where my armholes need to be. Like it would be so customizable. You could add stripes. Oh my gosh. I really like this pattern and I feel like it's one of those undiscovered patterns that more people should try just because it's kind of like Flax, the Flax Sweater by Tin Can Knits, where there's just so many different ways to customize this. It's incredible. You know, I really like this pattern. I give it like 10 stars out of 5. Really, it is great. It's an amazing pattern. It is technically one size, but again, if you guys remember this rectangle, super easy to make it narrower or wider. I made mine wider. I don't know that I even had to, but I'm okay that I did. You know, it's a good fit for my it's a good fit for my rectangle. So I made mine just a little bit wider, and I did need more yarn, but that is to be expected. If you're going to knit something bigger than what the pattern says, you know, you're going to need more yarn. And I also needed yarn because I didn't make mine all in one color. So because of how I was fading things and changing yarns, you know, I had to kind of play with that, and I needed more yarn just because of how I was modifying this. So anyway, so I mean, you kind of watch your yarn and whatnot. And if you made this a fingering weight, I have no idea how much yarn you're going to need. But so, you know, get extra. But I love this. It is perfect for, I'm going to say, all 4 seasons. Like, I could wear this with anything. I see myself, we do a lot of fires, like campfires in our backyard during the summer. We roast a lot of marshmallows. We do. And some nights it starts getting cool. I could see me wearing this, you know, next to, you know, on the campfire, because it's basically like a blanket. I mean, pretty warm. You know, I could see me keeping this at the office during the winter when for some reason it's never warm enough in our office, and oh, I'll just throw this on, not a problem. Like, I really like this. I think it's great. I like that this one doesn't have sleeves, but I kind of want to knit another one with sleeves and make it like a sweater coat. It could be a sweater. You could easily make this a sweater wrap dress. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I highly recommend it if you're kind of tired of seeing everybody knit the exact same. I mean, I'm not saying everybody does, but if you're kind of tired of seeing like a lot of the same patterns, this is not a super popular one. And I kind of feel like it should be, you know, I mean, yeah, there's just so many ways to modify. In fact, so let me think, I made it fade instead of just one color. I extended the back, and I added a couple more rows to the border. You see the border? Yeah, to this border. It was supposed to stop after, I don't know. I think I added a couple of rows. I'd have to look to see how many, but I added a couple of rows here. Partially because I had extra yarn. Again, because of the fading, I had extra yarn. And so I thought, well, I bought the yarn specifically for this project. I really don't want a whole lot left over. I'll just do this. But you had to, like, I still have some left over because, you know, you have to manage that yarn. It's a big circle all the way around. I didn't want to get halfway through a bind off and run out. So I stopped it a little bit early, but I love this. I love it, I love it, I love it. There is one place where you join, and I don't think this is any secret sauce. I think I can give this away. So there's one place where you join using Kitchener, and I know not everybody likes Kitchener. I don't mind it. In fact, I was in a very distractible setting when I did the Kitchener, and it was fine. But if you don't like Kitchener, you could easily switch that join for a 3-needle bind off and skip it all together. It would not change anything to the finished object. So just, ooh, my eye itches. All right, so just an FYI, if you end up getting this and then you find out that you have to Kitchener, and, you know, you're like, Lindsay, you didn't tell me. I'm just letting you know right now, you could easily, I mean, very easily switch that Kitchener to a 3-needle bind off, which is usually simpler to do. So anyway, super easy. There's, you know, increases. There's picking up stitches, and there's joining. And that's kind of it. I mean, it's a very especially if you do it in one color, exactly as the pattern states. It's a very beginner-friendly pattern. But if you're adventurous or you're intermediate, I love simple patterns. I love modifying simple patterns. I love taking a very simple pattern and it's like, okay, I get the structure of this. I get the bones. Now I'm going to go crazy on it. I love those kinds of patterns. And that's exactly what this was. This was a lot of fun. It took a lot of time, but part of that was just life stuff was happening while I was trying to knit this. It was, I mean, it's a blanket. It's really big. There's a point in time when like it sat next to my knitting chair and I just didn't move it around and go with me anywhere because it was just so big, and blanket knitting, schlanket knitting kind of gets that way. But other than that, you know, I mean, I don't mind any of that. So, yeah, I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I also, when I blocked this, I did something I've never done before. And I don't think that this is new. I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody doing this, but I've got to think like this is probably a common thing that I just never thought to do. It's so big. So I let it soak. I had it soak overnight. And because, I mean, the colors are fading. So if there was any bleeding that happened, I actually wanted it to. Because if it bled, it would just look more faded together. It's totally fine. So I just let it soak overnight. I didn't care. It didn't bleed. But if it had, it would have been part of the project. Not a problem. It's so huge, though, that I mean, I don't know how you guys bring out your knits. I usually, like, pick them up a little bit, squeeze, 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 you know, because you don't want to like wring it and you don't want to do that. But it's so big. I thought, how the heck am I going to do this? I thought, I'm just going to put it on the spin cycle in my washer. So I dumped it in, like I have a little tote. I don't have it with me. I have a little clear tote that I put everything in. Well, not everything, because I usually block one item at a time. But I put my knitted item in and like soak it, and normally then I squeeze out and okay. But instead I took that tote, took it over to the washer, just dumped it in, and my washer has a drain and spin setting where you just, I mean, it just spins it, you know, it's a spin cycle. What's a yarn? Spin cycle. I wonder if that's where they got it. I don't know. Anyway, I put on the spin cycle of my washer and it just spun for like 7 minutes, and it was still, it was wet, but it wasn't sopping. There was no dripping happening. It was more than damp. It was still, and I, you know, laid it out over my blocking mats. All the edges went over the, because my, this is a big sucker, you know? But I laid it out over my mats, and less than 24 hours later, she's dry. I'm wearing it. It's great. So anyway, I don't know if anybody's ever thought to do that. I don't think I would do that with everything, but certainly the next schlanket that I make, I will do that again. Like that was, I mean, it just got so much of the water out. And I don't have an agitator in my washer. It just, oh my, I mean, it's a top loader without the agitator. So maybe it would be different if it was a front. I don't know if that would be different. Have you guys ever tried this? I don't know, but it was the first time I had ever thought to do it. It worked out well for me. Just putting it out there in case anybody else has a really large item that they have to block. Yeah. So anyway, yay! This is my darting in circles. Make sure I said everything that I was supposed to say about it. Yeah, I think so. All right. Are you guys ready to see some whips? Here we go. First up, we have my staple linen top by Joji. This is a $6 pattern that one of my friends gifted me. This is where I was the last time we chatted. This little sheepy. Yes, little sheepy. So I've made a lot of progress. This is actually soaking wet. Not soak, I mean, yeah, it's soaking wet. I have a long torso. Oh, let me stop. Let me talk about the pattern. The pattern is fiddly until you get to about, the pattern starts off a little fiddly. It just does. Once you get past this little shoulder section, it's a lot easier. And then definitely once, you know, it's top down. So once you get past the armpits and you're in the round, super easy. This has been my mindless knitting all month, last couple months. Just spit. Gross. Last couple months. It honestly should be done. I think the pattern, I'm going to fold this in half here. I believe the pattern, which had me stopping here, I have a very long torso. I just do. And I know that there is a trend for cropped tops, and that's fine. It's not for me. It's not. I mean, like the shirt would end here, my belly button's way down here, my hips start here. Like crops don't. There's just too much torso for a crop top. And this is not even a crop top. This is supposed to fit your average person. But I have a long torso. So I've added a couple of inches, and I'm not sure if I wanted to be done or if I wanted to add a little bit more. So this is mid blocking. I just took it off the blocking mats. I don't normally block things until they're done. This is a first for me, but I really want to check. I want to get it to dry and really check that length and decide, do I want to do 1 more inch? And then it ends, I think it ends with ribbing or something. Like that's not giving anything away because you could tell from the picture. I think it ends with a rib. So I just want to figure out, do I want to do 1 more inch before I do the ribbing? Maybe 2 more inches. You know, and that's what's great about top down is that it's very easy to customize that length. And normally I can do that without even having to block. But linen does not block like wool. And I could not, like I can, you know, I've been knitting sweaters for a while now. I can kind of get a feel for how well sometimes I'm really off. I confidently think I can get a feel for what's going to happen with wool, and then, you know, sometimes I'm way off and then things don't fit. But linen, I can't even guess what's going to happen when it blocks, because this is my second ever anything with 100% linen. I am fully blocking out this sweater. It is very wet. My pants are wet now. Awesome. And I'm going to go put it back down. Pattern was Joji Locatelli's staple linen top. The yarn was de Rerun Natura, their Antigone base in Pamplemousse. I don't know if I said that right, but it means grapefruit. Thank you, kind viewer, who told me. I will always remember that. It's a very pretty color, very corally. Love it. It's a fun pattern. Again, once you get past the armpits and it's just in the round, I mean, you just go to town. It should be done soon. I don't want to cut it short and then not want to wear it because it's not long enough. So trying out this complete block before actually finishing the object. And then once I do, I'll block it again. We'll see what happens. Next up is my Bumblebee Shawl, which, what is going on? This is Bumblebee by Verena Cohrs, and this is a paid for pattern. It is $7, but it was gifted to me for my birthday several years ago. I've been meaning to knit it. It's been in my queue, and I've been finally getting on it this year. Last month I ended kind of like right here. I had done a big chunk of this purple, but I know I wasn't done all the way yet. And so now I'm back to, this is Fragile. It's a BFL Light by Madelinetosh. The purple is an oopsie skein that I dyed. I was trying to dye for LindenWool, and it's very pretty. It's very pretty, but it's got issues. So I'm going to keep it. We're going to hang out together. I've got several more skeins, so I'll probably make a sweater out of it. Maybe this year. I don't know. Yeah, and this is Fragile by Madelintosh. So far it's been an easy knit. I mean, there's like a little bit of a pattern here, but it was one of those easy to remember patterns. And now I'm just garter. Gotta love garter. So this just sits in my car. When I'm in my car waiting or like going somewhere with my husband with him driving, then, you know, get a couple rows on. But it's super easy. I feel like if I put some effort into it, I would have been a lot farther, but I got this done instead. So anyway, that's my Bumblebee. All right. So next up is my Sonrae by Jennifer Steingass of Knit Love Wool. And we're here, folks. I believe I hadn't started this next, it's a V. I don't know if you can tell. I hadn't started this next V last month. So I don't know. I think I've put like 4 or 5 rows on this. Again, this is one, oh my gosh. Where's my needle? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Have you guys ever dropped stitches with color work? It's a beast. I had like 30 stitches off the needle. Oh. Okay, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna have to like put 2 rows on this just to make sure I didn't just screw everything up. Oh, goodness. What is going on here? Okay, this is my Sonrae by Jennifer Steingass, Knit Love Wool. I'm making this out of Cloudborn fibers. They're Merino Alpaca Sport. I really enjoy working with this yarn. I love how lightweight Alpaca is. Really just enjoying it. It's a bit complicated, so I haven't put as much time on it because I really wanted to finish this. And I was really hoping to finish the staple linen top by the end of April. I'm close. I mean, as soon as I find out where I'm at with length, that'll be done. So these 2 pieces were the pieces I was really focusing on in April. I'm hoping to finish the yoke of this. That's kind of my next priority, is get the yoke done on this. Yeah, definitely by the end of the month, but hopefully sooner so I can start working on the body. And yeah, it'll be more mindless, not as much concentrated effort there. But it's a fun knit. I love Jennifer's patterns. It is a paid for pattern. It's $7 normally. I feel like I got it on sale. She runs sales every once in a while where, you know, like a birthday sale or this or that sale. And I know she was running one that was really good. I don't remember what it was, but I like stocked up on her patterns. So isn't that pretty? Wow, it's just so pretty. Anyway, no pressure to finish that because I won't wear it till fall anyway. But yeah, digging it. Digging the Cloudborn fibers. It's been fun. Really knitting with a lot of different fibers. Cloudborn fibers is, well, it's on clearance at Webs, and so it's a very affordable yarn, you know, which makes it a very affordable sweater. The Rerun Natura, most of that was from Stash, but even then, that's a very affordable yarn. I had gotten the, you know, and I mean, I love indie dyed yarn. Don't get me wrong. I happened to get this on sale as well. So I did have to buy one more skein. It's funny because, well, it's funny. I'm going to call it funny. When I purchased this, I thought I had enough. And then I found out I was going to be 100 yards short for what the pattern called for. And I wasn't sure which of the 3 colors to get an extra skein of. Well, when I checked because I got this from Simply Socks. When I checked their sales section, the only one they had left of was the Simply Greige, and they only had 1 skein of it. So I was like, oh, I better grab that. And then I was in the rectangle section and I thought, there's no way I have enough. I am definitely going to need another skein. Well, they didn't have any more of the high twist, but they did have Simply Greige in just DK. So I got that. In fact, I can show you. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. La, 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 la. So if you see really, even on camera, and usually you can see it more on camera. I guess you can more down here. So like this is a skein, this is a skein, this is a skein. But like seriously, it looks great. I love it. So anyway, it's been fun knitting with linen and wool and alpaca and hand dyed, and I don't know if Cloudborn is considered commercially dyed. Kind of, I would think. It's not somebody reaching their hand in. I don't think. I mean, I think it's like a mill dyed. So what is, that's not hand dyed. It's not hand dyed. I don't think so. It's too, yeah. Anyway, it's been fun knitting with the yarns of all different kinds of fibers, all different kinds of price points. Yeah, I think it's fun to mix it up. Anyway, there's more. All right, so this, it just flew out of my hand. Okay, so this, speaking of like different fibers and whatnot, this is some Handspun that I got several years ago through a fiber share. Fiber share is where you sign up and these two women like match everybody up and you send out a package to somebody, but then you receive a package from somebody else. And this was in the package that I received. How awesome is this? I don't spin. I've never actually knit like Handspun from a friend before. And this particular Handspun, I think is awesome. Like it marinated in my stash for a while because again, I don't normally knit with Handspun. So it's very thick and thin. Let me see if I can find a nubby. Like it's got little nubbies of the orange, and I don't know what this is, but like every once in a while there'll be a big like floof of it. So it's making this really fun texture. And I just started this last night. It'll be done today. But I wanted to record before like things got real crazy around here. This is going to be a pumpkin where like you cinch this and then you and through the magic of whatever, like all of a sudden it becomes, you know, a pumpkin. So that's what this is going to be. And I mean, I think I love this. I love it that it's my colors. I love the teal in it. I don't know if it's coming up. Yeah, that's about that. Very tealy, aqua, turquoisey, somewhere in that family. And then the little pops of orange made me think pumpkin, but like my kind of pumpkin. So yeah, very excited. I have a jar of this. It looks so much funnier. It looks so funny on camera. When I snip my ends, I put them in a jar, and I actually have 2 jars going right now. And usually what happens is after a while, I need them for something, such as a random pumpkin. So this will be the stuff that goes in my pumpkin, which is good because I don't have any polyfill on hand. I don't really need polyfill on hand because I think I'm gonna have enough to stuff my pumpkin with. Not fun. So it'll be this, but better. Anyway, so this will be done soon. Super excited about it. I'm really enjoying it. This will probably be the only thing I knit on today. Having a good time with it. Besides that, I once again didn't put any rows, anything on the heart cardigan that I'm making, and that's H-A-R-T, heart. So here's the thing. I typically don't print my patterns. I started off, like I have a DropBox account, and so I would download patterns to the DropBox And then I would open that up on my phone, and then I would just know where I was. And then there's an app called Knit Companion that I downloaded once I had an iPhone, because at the time it only worked on the iPhone. You had to have an iOS software. It doesn't work for Android. I don't know if that's changed. The last time I looked, it was still an iPhone only app. So I apologize if you're an Android user, because this may not apply to you. But with the Knit Companion, it's a free app. You can purchase the pattern anywhere, and you have it as a PDF. You upload the PDF to their system. It's super easy. You can connect it to your DropBox, and it'll pull the PDF from there. You can connect it to your Ravelry account. It'll pull it from there. So you can have the PDF, like as long as it's a PDF, you can get it onto your Knit Companion. And then it's got little markers, so you can make a line where you're at with the pattern. And so now I mean, it's super easy to not print off anything, because you can have multiple works in progress going, and you just mark where you're at. And so whenever I pick up a project, I open up the app, I open up the project, see my mark. Now I know exactly where I'm at. It's great. The problem is that even though I've got the big phone, it's still a phone. And for most patterns, it's not a big deal. Like sometimes with color work, it gets a little, I gotta really blow it up and this and that. But for the most part, it's not a big deal. I can read it on the phone and it's fine. The heart pattern, for some reason, it's not working. So what I've been doing is I knit that at my computer, and I blow it way up, and then I just knit at my computer. But I don't like knitting at my computer. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is actually print the pattern and go old school with it, because that is part of the problem why I'm not beyond the fact that it's lace and it's midnight blue. Who thought that was a great idea? Oh, this girl did. Okay, nice job. So beyond the fact that it's just a lace weight cardigan in midnight blue, part of the problem is I can't read the pattern on my phone. So I read it on my computer, and I don't want to knit at my computer. That's not my knitting spot. So I think I'm gonna have to print this one off, and I will do that, and we'll see if I can get a solid inch knit by the end of this month. We'll see. I don't know. I do know that there's another knitting app out there called Ribblr, but I think with Ribblr, you have to purchase the pattern inside the app, and they have free patterns, but they also have patterns for purchase. And I think you have to purchase it within the app. And then there's all these tools to mark your spot and everything. And I have the app on my phone, but I haven't done much with it. So I don't know. So Ribblr's out there, and Knit Companion's out there, DropBox is out there. Those are all the things that I use to not print patterns. I don't care if you do. I'm not offended. I just, most of the time I only knit something once, and I feel bad printing paper that I'm going to use for a month or two, and then I'm done. I feel bad about that. So I use tech where I can. But I think with the heart, one, I'm not going to have this pattern done in a month or two. Two, I'm not going to enjoy myself trying to knit it off of a screen. So I think I'm going to have to actually print that out to make some progress. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's what I'm working on. I did not do any weaving. I kind of need to get back on my 4-shaft loom there. It's my first project. Okay, I've not been working on it because it's my first project, and I already know it sucks. And that's what happens with your first project. They always suck. That's what happens. That's part of the learning process. And I've learned so much, but there's a lot of things wrong with it, and I need to just get over myself and finish it. So I will try to get some weaving done. I wouldn't mind getting another scarf going, but I don't know, it feels like there's a lot going on. There's not. With this done and the staple linen top almost done, and the Handspun pumpkin is going to be done in like 2 seconds. I definitely feel like there's space in my life for another project, but I have another sweater that I want to cast on like this second. And if you've been watching me if you started watching me last year, do you guys remember the Tulip Shawl? I have it. Hold on. Oh, where is it? Like way over here. And reach. You guys remember this? No, I haven't even shown it to you. How are you going to remember? All right. This is the Tulip Shawl. And it's this really fun, funky shawl. It's lace with beads. Definitely sign me up. Here's the problem. I don't know where I am in the lace. And I have tried to figure out where I am in the lace many times. In doing that, I found out I really messed up the beads. So I think my best course of action at this point is to like rip back to like here, to where I can figure out, yep, that's where I am. And it's not, I mean, it's lace weight with beads, but it's not that much, like really, it's not that much knitting. So I kind of want to get back on this. I want to rip back, take all the beads out, figure out where the heck I am in this lace, and start again and get this done. Because look at this. It's so pretty. And it's been sitting for forever. So I kind of want to get on this. Like I said, there's a sweater I want to get on the needles right away. So I enjoy weaving, but just not as much as knitting. You know, it's good to have several hobbies. I love having multiple hobbies because sometimes I just don't want to knit anymore. Oh my gosh, there's sometimes throughout the year where I have to do a lot of data entry in like my carpal tunnel. And so then it's great to have weaving because then there's not really a lot of this action going on. It's more like this. I'm just making it up. I don't know. But there's not a lot of this. So it is nice to have some a hobby there that doesn't do the wrist movement so that I can still, when my carpal kind of flares up. But yeah, I've just not been in the mood lately. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple months ago, I bought that embroidery kit from, I think it's Knitted Bliss. I'll put a link down below. Like as it's getting warmer, I keep thinking, ooh, maybe we'll pull it out now. Maybe it's time to start that now. So I've got a lot of things I kind of want to get going. One more thing though. I always like to kind of highlight something in my stash every episode, and I highly encourage you guys to, take a couple minutes, even just once a month, just take a couple minutes, move your stash around to remind yourself what you have. I can't tell you how many times when I am looking for a skein to feature that it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had that. That's gorgeous. And that's kind of why I do it. I really do it more for me. I know I've gotten some comments of some feedback before that you guys appreciate it too, but honestly, it's for me to force me to remember to go through my stash, remember what I have. I really do like my skeins. I don't feel like I need to de-stash. It's really bothering me. I don't feel like I really have anything that I want to de-stash. Every once in a while, I'll go through it. I'll be like, that skein. Those aren't really me anymore. And maybe I'll put them as part of a swap or something. But for the most part, I really like the wool that I am surrounded by. So do you see this? Look at this. This is one of so for today, this is a little bit different. This box, you see this? This was like my first big project that I bought that I didn't cast on right away. So it's been sitting around for a while. It has. It's been sitting around for a while. Yeah. And someday I'm going to turn this into a big old blanket. I've got the pattern picked out, but this is Lion Brand's Fisherman's wool. I'm gonna make it into a blanket. It's gonna happen. I don't know when hopefully before I'm 80. But you know, if I'm knitting this when I'm 80, I'm not complaining. So this is my big box of Fisherman's wool. Been sitting in my stash forever. It has been on my radar to, hey, maybe you could just cast on, because I already know a blanket I'm gonna knit. It's they're like squares that have cables and everything. You hold the yarn double. I mean, it's gonna be a good yarn eater, you know. I already know what I'm gonna knit. It's, you know, I like the squares and it's gonna be great. And I've thought about just, you know, making one square, getting a little bit started on it. Haven't done it yet. Hasn't happened. But I think about it a lot and it brings me joy. So this sticks around in my stash. I see the box. The box sits out. I see it. I see it a lot. It doesn't hide. But I'm grateful to have it because it's my someday. And it's been my someday for like 10 years. What is it, 2010? Maybe 12 years. No, it's 2020. So maybe, no, it's 2021. Oh my gosh. What year is it? Where are we? When are we? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I got this somewhere in like the late 2000s, like 2008, I don't know. It was my first big yarn purchase. And I mean, I never did anything with it. But I have the pattern. The pattern's printed out because I think it's out of print now. Like, it's not available on Lion Brand's site anymore because it's a Lion Brand pattern. But I have it printed out. And I'm going to make it someday. And until then, I mean, it's beautiful natural yarn. So, yeah. And, you know, I also want to be very honest with people. Like, I have a lot of indie dyed yarn. I have a lot of indie dyed yarn, but I also have a lot of, you know, not indie dyed yarn. And I hope everybody just loves their stash, no matter what's in it. And, you know, yeah, be grateful, you know, I mean, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for this big box of Lion Brand Fisherman's wool. So anyway, that's what I got, folks. That's what I've been doing this month. This next month, hopefully we'll see a staple linen top done, and I'll show you a pumpkin filled with little yarny bits. Maybe if I get a little brave and adventurous, I might show you a before and after pic of my garden. I don't know about that though. If I see an overwhelming response that that's what we need, you know, you guys need to see the garden, I will put forth the effort and show you my horrible gardening skills. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a great day, make great decisions, and I'll see you in about a month. Bye.